Hey guys, welcome back to Jessin Reads Romance. I'm Jessin and today I'm here with my January TBR. I debated on whether or not I wanted to make this TBR video because I am going to be starting my final semester for nursing school in January at the beginning. It's just very hard for me to stick to TBR while I'm in school, and I'm much more of a mood reader and a rereader. But there are a few that I'm gonna read in January. So I have priority books is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna list my priority books, and then I'm also gonna tell you other books I'm interested in reading but may or may not get to. The first book that I'm really looking forward to reading is Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. I just got this special edition from Mystic Box and I really enjoyed Still Beating. I also really enjoyed June 1st. I've heard some other people really like this one. And Jennifer Hartman likes to punch you in the feels, so I was hesitant to pick it up, but I'm very excited about it. It is a kind of, I don't know if you would categorize it as a second chance romance, but the synopsis says that this boy and this girl used to be friends when they were young, and then he disappears on like July 4th, and then like 20 years later he shows up again. So I'm very curious to see what's happening. I think that Jennifer Hartman does some really interesting things. I'm like so obsessed with this special edition of Lotus. It's just really beautiful and I'm very excited to read it. So that's my first priority book. And then my next one, The Lone Wolf's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells. I really like this series that she has created. Well, I really like the first book in the series that she has created. It's a shifter wolf romance series where all of the heroes have rejected their mate. And I'm really excited because this returns to the original pack in book 1, and this couple has actually been teased. I'm very excited because it seems like it's going to be a grumpy sunshine pairing. We've already met the hero who is a lone wolf. He doesn't live with the pack. He lives alone in the woods, and he has already found his mate, Mari, and she is such a ray of sunshine and so much younger than him that he just feels like it's best that he does not claim her, and he wants to let her live her life. She thinks that he's rejecting her because he doesn't want her, but it seems like his wolf is maybe a little out of control, and so he's trying to protect her. And I'm very excited about that. It actually is releasing in December, but I don't think I'll get to it until January. I kind of want to hold off on it because if it's another favorite read by Kate C. Wells, I want to be able to say that it's one of my favorite books of 2023 instead of it getting sidelined at the end of 2022. I've already made like my favorites of the year. I've done all of that already. So if it ends up by being a favorite, I didn't want it to get like left behind in 2022. So I'm gonna wait until January to pick this book up, even though it releases in a couple of days. For my next book, I decided to challenge myself in my New Year's booktuber tag to read all of Lisa Kleypas' backlist for this year. And I'm very excited. So I made a spinner wheel because I don't know which one I want to pick up, and I just kind of want to be surprised. So I'm going to spin for the book that I'm going to read. Some of these I don't actually own a physical copy, and I may try to search for it if it lands on a book that I don't already own. I'm very excited and nervous because I love Lisa Kleypas, love her so much, and I know that not all of her original books, the ones that she published first, are going to land well with me, but I'm still very excited about this challenge. Okay, let's see what it picks. Okay, Someone to Watch Over Me. I don't think I own this one, actually. Let me go double check real quick in my Book Buddy library because that's so much easier than trying to dig back there and just look for it if I just search for it. Nope, I don't own a copy of this. So I'll have to go get a copy of Someone to Watch Over Me, but I'm very excited. I don't know if this one is part of a series. I have read this book. I've totally read this book. How is this marked as not read? I swear to God, I've read this book. Okay, I totally have read this book because it has a plot similar to Overboard, and I don't know why it's not marked as read on my Goodreads because I definitely have read this one. Okay, so I'm going to have to spin again because, yeah, I've already read this book. Okay, so I'm gonna hide that one. Let's spin again. Because You're Mine. Okay, I'm pretty sure I haven't read this one. Let's see, just to double check and make sure. I have to go read the synopsis because, yeah, I can't believe that happened. Okay, so this book is part of a series, and I don't know if I should read them in order. I'm kind of a read in order type of girl because these characters in Because You're Mine might have appeared in the first one, Somewhere I'll Find You. I think I might do that. Okay, so the spinner wheel is just a guide. It's not like definitive. So I think I'm gonna do Somewhere I'll Find You since it's the first book in the Capitol Theater series. And this was published in 1996, so this is one of her older ones. This sounds interesting. So our heroine, Julia, it seems like she is an actress. It doesn't actually, it just says she's a leading lady, but I mean actors, right? Okay. And she's been secretly married, and it seems like her parents and his parents like forced the marriage, but they haven't seen each other in years. And when he discovers, he's looking for his wife that he is legally married to because he wants to divorce her. He wants to separate from her. And then he discovers that the woman that he wants to make his mistress, this actress, is his wife. So I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with that one. So I'll write that down for me, Somewhere I'll Find You, and I have to go correct that on my Goodreads because I think it's so funny. Then as part of the 12 Books from 12 Friends challenge for 2023, I am going to read Broken Play by Allison Rimes, and this was suggested to me by Nalika, and I'll link her Instagram down below. Now, I am very hesitant about this book because it is a cheating romance, and I don't normally gravitate towards them. Some can be done very well, and I like them, but I am very nervous that I'm not gonna like it. And there's a possibility because it seems like it might be a duet. I don't like duets. But I told her that I would read it in January, and I am gonna try to read that before I go back to school. So the setup for the story is that the heroine has had a crush on her brother's best friend for years, and finally he sees her and they get married. But 5 years into their marriage, he decides to cheat, and now they've separated or divorced. I think it might be they're separated. And she's trying to start a new life, and she is trying to move on, and I think that he gets jealous that she's trying to move on, and so he tries to win her back. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared about it. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I am gonna try it. I am gonna try it. It's part of the challenge, so at least I'll read one of these per month so that I can complete this challenge throughout the year and feel like less pressured. Then I have a couple of read-alongs that I'm really excited for. The first one that I'm super excited for is a read-along for the Vampire Academy, specifically the first 3 books. Sorry, it's like awkward to hold all of them. But Sam and a couple of other friends, I'll link all of their channels down below. They are hosting a read-along for the first 3 books, and I'm so excited. The live show is going to be at the end of January, I think January 30th actually, or 31st. I'm gonna have to double check. I think it's 30th though. But this first book, Vampire Academy, this was one of my favorite books when I was a teenager, a favorite series when I was a teenager. In fact, so every year on the podcast, Juliet and I do a mini-sode at the end of the year, and we do our book boyfriends for the year, but we also have a master list of our top book boyfriends of all time. And since the inception of the podcast, Dmitry Belkov, who is the hero of this series, has always been on my ultimate top book boyfriends. And it's been quite a few years since I've done a reread of Vampire Academy. I honestly can't even give you like a year the last time that I've read this, but I've read it so many times and I'm so excited. I know a lot of people are reading it for the first time, and I can't wait to see what they think about it. I'm also very interested to see if it holds up as well as it still does in my mind. Like, to me, it still is one of the ultimate YA series and vampire series that I know of and love. So I'm very excited, and I hope that people love Dimitri as much as I do. The next read-along is the Runway Series by Devney Perry. This is hosted by Tori and Jess, and I'm very excited about this. So the first 2 books, Runaway Road and Wild Highway, that live show is going to be early on in January, the 11th. So I actually need to start reading Runaway Road now. So I don't know, it might be a read that I actually get to in December, so maybe the second book will be on my January TBR technically, but I'm very excited for this. The first book, Runaway Road, it centers on a girl who is one of, I think, 5 friends who were all runaways, and they lived together in like a junkyard of sorts, and their lives kind of separated as they got older. She moved like to Boston, she got married, but now she's divorced. So she's on a road trip to go meet one of her friends, which I'm assuming is one of the people that she grew up with. with. And then I think she gets maybe in a car crash with this guy, and that's gonna be her hero. So I'm very excited for this. I really do enjoy Devoney Perry quite a bit. She definitely is an author that for the most part, she writes books that I really love. So I'm very excited to start this series. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with the fast pace of this read along with school, but I really am going to try. And yeah, I'm very excited about that. I also plan on doing some buddy reads with Crystal. So in December, we started The Bear and the Nightingale, and it was like a no pressure buddy read. We didn't really set like dates, and we weren't trying to read it really fast. We just created some stopping points, and whenever both of us hit that stopping point, we would talk about it, and we would just wait for each other and read something else while we were waiting. So I have never actually read the rest of the series, even though I had already read The Bear and the Nightingale. The second book is The Girl in the Tower, and we're gonna start buddy reading that, but I might not finish it until January. And then the final book is The Winter Witch. So both of these I will definitely be probably reading in January. Now these are books that I would like to read, but I don't know if I'll get to. So I kind of want to read A Deal with an Elf King. I really love this cover, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm leaning more towards reading fantasy and historical romances, or at least I'm trying to be. So I would be very interested in grabbing this book in January. There's also a Tiffany Roberts series that I've been meaning to read. Now, the first book in that series I attempted to read, and I don't know if I wasn't in the mood for that type of story because she writes sci-fi romances. They write sci-fi romances as a husband and wife duo, but I just wasn't quite in the mood for the first book in, I think it's the Lost City series. But the second book, I have seen artwork for this alien. It's called Shielded Heart. And I'm very interested in this one. I'm very interested. So I'm tempted to just skip the first one and maybe read this one. So that's another one that is on my radar. And of course I have quite a few new releases in January that I hope to get to. So I'm just gonna run through these in a list. I mentioned most of them in the video that I did on my most anticipated reads for 2023. The first one is Where Waves Break by Julia Wolf. The second one is Magic Tides by Ilona Andrews. It's going to be a long novella in the Kate Daniels series. You have to read all 10 books for this one to have any impact for you. The Duke Gets Even by Joanna Shupe, which I forgot to mention in my video. It's because this series has been hit or miss. I didn't like the first one, loved the second one, didn't love the third one. The fourth one, I hope I like it. And then finally Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne, which is another one that I forgot to mention, but Crystal did in her video, and I was like, oh, so glad that she mentioned this one. So yeah, this is my January TBR. Again, these TBRs are just gonna be a guide. I'm not gonna be super committed to all the books on this TBR, but again, I have my priority ones that I definitely want to get to in January, and I hope I meet that goal. I'm very excited for the read-alongs in January, and yeah, I'm just excited for the new year. Let me know what your January reading plans are. Tell me in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to get notified of any future videos that I do. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, life's better with little HEA. Bye guys.